Yep. So that's started. So yeah, good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Andrew Bromley. I'm the chair of the Imaki Yorkshire Northern Area, and um, delighted, delighted to introduce Max Neath and Abby Rongong tonight. They're going to be talking about Jorvik Racing Team from the University of York. It's recently been formed, I think last year, and one of the newest teams to enter Formula Student. So, oh yeah, I was going to say, so Abby is team principal and Max is head of engineering. So I'll hand over to you. And yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. I will do that classic thing where I mess about and share my screen. I have no idea if it's going to work, but we will give it a go. That should be the one. Hopefully everyone can see that.
Yep. Although it says loading now. Yep. Got it.
There we go. Amazing. Fabulous stuff. So this is just an introduction to Formula Student and who we are as a team as well. So I thought let's just dive right in. We'll hopefully cover, who we are as a team, stuff about the contest and where we're sort of planning to go in the future. So the first two big questions are who are we and what is Formula Student? I thought I'd start with who are we because then you kind of know who talking at you basically. So you can see a sort of list of 5 pictures. These are sort of the 5 main faces of the team. Got me, the team principal, Dom, the vice president, who has come to quite a few IMechE meetings. Freddie is our treasurer, Millie is our head of marketing, and Max, who is here with me, is the head of engineering. And between us 5, we sort of run the whole show. The top 3 exec positions is what we say. Myself, Dom, and Freddie deal with most of the admin side of things. And as you can probably guess by their titles, Max and Millie deal with marketing and engineering respectively. We are entirely student operated. We also run slightly differently to a lot of Formula Student teams because we are run under the Students' Union rather than under just the university as a whole. It does mean we have to exist in a slightly different way. One of our big things, though, is that we accept members from all over the student body. There's no entry requirement for us, which personally I really enjoy. I'm very into inclusivity and bringing everyone from different areas of like university life into this engineering project, which is quite exciting. And then we're also overseen by our faculty advisor, Martin Coulton, who works in the department, and he basically just makes sure we don't blow anything up. But given that we're not making a car today, thank goodness that's not happened so far. And then the event as a whole, what is that? Well, it's the yearly competition run by the IMechE, started in 1981 and moved to the UK in 1988. And I think the slide's pretty comprehensive. It's my spiel that I give to everyone who wants to join. We design, manufacture, and market a race car. And there are a lot of different events at Silverstone that I think Max is going to talk about a little bit later. And there are 3 main categories. This is the important part for us to note is the main Formula Student category, the concept class, and the AI category. For us in particular, this year, we are focusing on concept class for a variety of reasons that I will get into shortly. So what is our mission as a team? The University of York has a rather quickly growing engineering department. We used to just be quite small in terms of engineering, just electronic engineering, but now we've expanded out into a whole world of engineering goodness. So our goal as a team, or at least one of them, is to help in that sort of growth of the engineering department, really pull in engineers where we can, which is very important to us. Second part of the mission, if you will, is to make sure that all of our team members, wherever they come from, whatever they do, end an academic year with a new skill learned. For some people, that will be CAD, very physical sort of car design manufacture. For others, that might be what some people might describe as soft skills. So presenting, communication, leadership, things like that are we just want people to be able to have a new learnt skill by the end of an academic year. As I mentioned before, very big one is membership from all university departments. We sort of pride ourselves in knowing that we are not just a STEM student situation. Engineering, as I'm sure a lot of us know, you can often walk into a room and see the same faces that you might always see. So a big part of our mission is to make sure that it is inclusive as possible, have as many different people in the team as we can. And of course, the big one, that's the one that everyone wants, is to build a car. That is on the cards for next year, we hope. So how far have we got along in that mission? What have we done this year so far? So we have grown our membership from a week 17, we would say, last year to just over 50 now, which is very, very exciting. A lot of that came from our engineering team designing and building our own model sim car that we used in the Freshers' Fair. You can see it in the picture on the right hand below, someone sitting in and driving there. We had a little competition where you could hop in and try and set a lap time, essentially. The fastest one, I think, some takeaway vouchers. But it was a really exciting use of sort of engineering skills, knowing that we don't have loads of funds right now. Just building little things is very exciting, and that's sort of what we've been working on a lot. And then more into that engineering side of things is we now have every Wednesday, so we had one today, we have engineering workshops where different members of the engineering team, chassis, electricals, all of that, all sit down and really practice their CAD skills and start designing. And what do they start designing, you might ask? Well, we have officially entered into the concept class for that this year. So they are designing our car for this year. The only difference in concept class to the regular class is that we don't take a physical car. We just sort of take the digital version of what we might make if we had money. And the goal is next year, once we've really established our name as a team, the goal is then to make that digital thing that we have into a whole car. And what is the next steps? Well, in July, we will head down to Silverstone and hopefully have a very competitive entry. We will do our absolute best, and hopefully that will establish our name, like we say, as a team that is, yes, new, but also here, here for a purpose. And of course, once we've done that, and prior to this also, is as I've mentioned, we need money. So we're already getting in contact with local sponsors, national sponsors, so that we can fundraise, because as is in other formulas, money is king, I believe one person said. So so we've got our marketing team are on that. They've done a lot of sponsorship contact, and we're hoping to continue that throughout the year. A big one for us as well is making sure that we are in connection with other White Rose universities. We took a trip last year down to Sheffield, and that was huge for us. Really, really insightful stuff that they talked to us about. So hopefully we want to build up those relationships even more with Leeds and Hull and see where we can go from there. And of course, engage the lovely North Yorkshire IMechE branch. It's absolute pleasure to be part of this. If Don were here, I'm sure he would say the same thing, but it is very lovely to be able to be a part of this and sort of hear from you all as well. Max, I believe I'm going to hand over to you now so you can talk about some contest intricacies and what it might mean in terms of benefits for our team.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You'll have to tell me when to click the slides though.
Okay. So Formula Student provides a lot of benefits to our students, which makes it a great opportunity for us to be a part of. The main one is getting hands-on experience in both engineering and business, and being able to apply knowledge and skills that we learn throughout our course and outside of our course into a real-world setting. It also provides the opportunity to work as part of a team. Some of modules and courses don't have a lot of teamwork, whereas it's very essential in a race team to be part of a team. Formula Student also helps develop communication and presentation skills, especially in concept class. We need to bring across our point that our car is better than other teams' car through communication. So is very essential, not only for the competition though, but in our future careers as engineers. Another thing about Formula Student is that we can gain sort of exposure to the latest technologies in the automotive industry, and from that, a lot of students that participate in Formula Student go on into moving into the automotive sector. It also gives us a brilliant platform for students to basically show off both their skills and their projects to employers, which can help launch their careers after graduation. So yeah, next slide, please. So there are quite a few challenges in Formula Student. It's not as simple as getting a quick CAD model up, doing a little bit of welding, and you have a car. It stems from lots of things as working as part of a team, because there's quite a lot to do, from looking at all the rules to having multiple departments working on both high voltage electrics, motors, chassis design, aerodynamics. So working as part of a team and managing the whole project is very critical for success. There's also two sort of main type of events. So there's the dynamic events that test the car's performance and handling, while the endurance event that assesses its durability of the design and the reliability over a longer time period. The static events such as design, cost, and business preparation assesses the team's ability to both develop and articulate a coherent design philosophy, managing costs effectively and presenting a compelling business case for our car. It also requires us to work within a very set rules and regulations, which can be quite a challenge when we have never sort of done this before. So that's one of the main things we've been focusing very heavily on at the moment. But ultimately, though, the challenges provided are amazing for us as students to prepare us for careers in engineering, project management, and just business overall. Because it develops skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, and communication skills. So yeah, next slide, please. So as I touched on earlier, there's both the dynamic and static events. This is both for the for the Formula Student competition. This isn't ran for the concept class, and the rules and events are slightly different for the AI class. But these events are very carefully designed to provide a well-rounded evaluation of the car and the team's abilities, because we need to be very careful about why we've decided something and think it very much through, because then we will have to present to a board of judges and have to, I don't want to say argue, but communicate effectively why our design is the right design for us as a team, at least. So yeah, next slide, please. As I touched on earlier, Formula Student and industry go very much hand in hand. For us as students, it provides a unique opportunity to connect to both automotive and the engineering industry, and being able to talk to people in areas that we wouldn't have the opportunity to talk to and gain knowledge from if this event wasn't ran. Industry sponsors also provide a very vital role in supporting the competition, because they both provide the teams with financial and technical assistance, which we wouldn't be able to get as much of if it was just ran through the department itself. Additionally, participating in the competition helps us develop our practical skills, and the knowledge that is provided by this is highly valuable to industry employers. A lot of industry connections can also lead to internship opportunities, mentorship, and even job offers that have been offered in the past from teams and very special individuals on teams. The industry involvement in Formula Student also ensures that the competition remains relevant and up to date with the latest technological advancements in the field. Next slide, please. So the future of Formula Student, As Formula Student grows and evolves, it will likely continue to embrace emerging technologies and trends that impact the automotive industry. One of the key trends we are already seeing in Formula Student is the move towards electric powertrains, which our team has already moved towards. This allows the team to explore ways to make their vehicles more sustainable and efficient. Another potential area for growth for Formula Student is in the development of the autonomous technology competition. Because with the way that the automotive industry is going, lots of car companies are now moving towards driverless cars. So this is one key area where students can learn a lot from. And with the continued globalization of our Formula Student, we can expect to see a lot more diverse participation from teams and more cross-cultural collaboration. And this is amazing because it could lead to new, fun, exciting ideas and innovations within the rule set. It's also possible that we might see some more emphasis on data analytics and simulation tools in the design and testing process for the Formula Student vehicles. This is because when we need to talk about our design, we need to back it up with data. And but we also want to look at ways that we can optimize performance within the car and also reduce the cost for the development of the car. But overall, the future for Formula Student is amazing, and we can look forward to seeing new and innovative designs, technologies, and approaches to tackling the challenges of the automotive industry and engineering. So, yeah.
Cool. I believe that is everything we have to say. So I will probably stop sharing my screen just because this is just a slide that says any questions, but we are more than happy to answer any questions that people might have.
I think that was brilliant, Abby and Max. So yeah, can we have a round of applause, please, before we move on to questions? Everyone's on mute. Yeah, well done, guys. Yeah, let's open up to questions. Anybody got any questions for Abby and Max? Here we go.
Hi, my name is Joe. I've just turned my camera on. I don't particularly have a question per se, but can I just say right off the bat, I love your passion that just came across, and the fact, and I don't want to be sexist about it, the fact that females are getting involved in it is a deep joy, I have to say. When you were talking about the challenge that you just had there, you're not wrong. It's an enormous challenge, and perhaps I just need to introduce myself. I've lived in York for a long time, despite my beautifully rounded Scouse accent. I've lived there for 30 years, but I'm actually the CEO of a company called Radical Sports Cars. Rather than me try and sell that to you guys, I'd suggest you perhaps go on the website. And all I said to Nikki is that I was really fascinated in listening to this tonight. I don't normally come on. And when you started to talk about industry and getting support from industry, quite frankly, the offer is open to you guys. If you want to contact me to come and look around the factory, look at the design office, go into the field, go to racetracks and things like that. And if I can do anything to help you guys get through the challenges that you've just described, which are quite enormous, then you've got a free pass into Radical Sports Cars, which today is the largest producer of specialist purist sports cars around the world. So we're only based in Peterborough. It's not a million miles away. So reach out to me, and if I can be of any help to you guys, because you have got an enormous challenge on, and you're coming from ground zero. We've got 25 years experience there, and if we can share that with some of yourselves and your team, I'd be more than happy to do it. So it's not really a question. I apologise for that, but happy to help if I can put it that way.
No, absolutely. That would be so amazing. And thank you very much. I think that's absolutely something that we would love to pursue. So
Yeah, defo.
Yeah, just give me a call anytime. If you want I think Nicky will probably have, if Nicky is on, he might have my email address, but it's simply joe.anwell@radicalmotorsport.com.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
But just make sure that your course leaders are happy with you going to visit the factory and stuff like that. I don't want to be told off for that. All right.
It's all right. I'm
Thank you.
very good at risk assessments. All will be fine.
Thanks, guys.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's great, Joe. Yeah, thank you. So, any more questions, anybody? Or offers of help, support? I did send on to Dom some details of the Amki Yorkshire automobile division. They've got a event on the, let me just check the date, the 15th of March at the University of Huddersfield.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, so I think that's worth going to if you
Yeah,
can.
definitely.
Yeah, they've got all the Yorkshire universities in there. Yeah, the Formula student teams. So that'd be a great networking event. I don't know if I saw something.
There's a question in the chat, Andrew.
Yeah, Pascal. Do you want to come on camera and ask it yourself? Or?
Oh yeah, sure. Hi Abby, by the way.
Hi Pascal. Myself and Pascal do know each other.
Yeah. I was the team lead for MMU in last year, but I was just wondering how you go about training your first years without sort of overwhelming them, because often you'll get about 60 at the start of the year. By after Christmas, you're about down to about 20. So I'm just wondering how you go about
that. How we have run the engineering department is that we give the new team members the opportunity to join either the chassis department or the electronics department, and from there we sort of the training sort of changes. So when it comes to chassis, our first port of call is to really teach computer aided design, because that's very critical for students to sort of know how to sort of design something. So we offer workshop sessions every Wednesday. So at the start of the year, but we did, I think it was 5 workshop sessions teaching from basically how to install our CAD software, which for us as a team, we use Fusion 360 because of its online support. And then we go from simple as drawing a box all the way up to drawing pistons and lots of other like intricate designs, which then sort of helps give everyone a base sort of level of knowledge. Of course, it takes years to master CAD software, so not everyone sort of gets it straight away, but we also have quite a few second and third year engineering students, and in the course we do a lot of CAD design, so we're always on hand to help. And along with the technicians that love to get involved, they also know quite a lot of CAD from their many years of experience with it, so they're always on hand to help. When it comes to the electronics side, it's more research, so I can help with some of it because of how the courses ran. We do a lot of high voltage electrics and microcontroller programming, so I sort of try and teach and impart my knowledge onto that. But we're also in contact with a few of the electronic engineering staff about maybe running a few workshop sessions with them to see if they can also help out. And across the department, we've got support. So any problems, I literally just send out an email, and within normally about 45 minutes, because the staff are always checking their emails, they always get straight back to us. And any questions that the students have, if I can't answer it, I'll pass it along. So that's how I try not to overwhelm them. But it's quite a big step up from, especially if they've just joined university, going from school and doing a little after school club to designing a race car. It's quite a big jump, but we try to counteract the overwhelmingness with lots of social and fun events, so it keeps everyone sort of calm at the same time.
Exactly. We do have a big focus on making sure we all meet up in a more casual setting at least once a week, just so that we can all hang out, get to know each other more. Because if you get on with your teammates, you're gonna work a lot better together as well. So I think it's a big thing about sort of balancing work and life in the team.
Could I just ask one more question? You were talking about electric vehicles a moment ago, so I'm going to stick my hand up and say I'm not a big fan of them. Is that for environmental considerations, or is it me too? Is it me too? Everyone's doing it, so we think we should do it.
It's more of a problem that we have is that the university and the facilities that we have aren't very well set up to run actual engines. Because of how new the department is, they did say that they were willing to work towards that, but they said it would be like a 3 or 4 year timeline that we'd have to work on with that, and it was a lot of steps and hurdles, and it was going to take quite a lot of money to sort of invest in that, and we don't even really have a set space for when we could do stuff. So we decided that with the wealth of knowledge that we have in high voltage electrics at the university, that we'd proceed down the electric route. However, in the future, we could always maybe look at entering both electric and combustion, depending on what the team sort of thinks at the time. But I, for one, agree that combustion sounds a lot better than electric. So
You're very right. I am on the other side in the environmental department. I'm quite passionate about all of that sort of thing. And so for me, I think it's an added bonus that we have this specialism in electrics already, because it's also good for the planet, which I can never say no to.
Oh, try hydrogen. Thank you.
Hi there. My name's Simon Smith. I'm head of engineering governance at a company called James Fisher Nuclear, which is based out. Well, we have a site out in Malton, just outside York. I'm just interested to know what your kind of targets are for raising money. I can't compete with Joe in terms of his offer, but you know, I wonder if you've got any kind of like sort of standard information that we can take away from this, and see if there's any opportunity for sponsorship and that sort of thing. Obviously, far from promising anything. I have people to convince, that sort of thing. So,
Max, I believe. Sorry, apologies, Max. I believe you have a full budget breakdown.
oh gosh. So at the moment we're very much pricing things up. So the ballpark figure is the car is probably going to cost us around £20,000. Luckily, the university's student union has given us about £3 and a bit thousand to help with car development initially. So we're sort of at the moment thinking about what to buy with that. But when it comes to getting sponsors, I'm not too much well versed in that sort of area. But any support is much appreciated, because we've just started out. So we don't get to be picky like the super high-end, like especially the German teams with their multi-million-pound development. So we like to do things on the low and budget. So, but I'm sure that we could definitely sort of get back to you with some standard information as soon as possible. So, yeah.
All right, Pat, thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Anybody else? I've got a question about so the design. Are you using any sort of specialist simulation software, computational fluid dynamics, or for aerodynamic design? Are you using things like Adams for your suspension system design, etc.? Or is this all a bit too soon?
Oh, that's a tough one. So we do have a specialist in CFD. She's currently very much learning the software. So I can't remember the specific software. I know that we use Fusion and it does have CFD capabilities. But we are also looking at maybe the university, seeing if they can provide some industry grade software, because we know Autodesk does some very good specialized CFD software. And also when it comes to sort of suspension design, there's loads of great tools readily free on the internet. So
Okay.
that's where we would very much probably start off, because at our current goal is just to build a car. It takes teams 10, 15 years and very, very big budgets to shave off a 10th of a second, a 50th of a second. I said some of what the especially the European teams do with their budget is crazy. With full carbon fiber, everything, including rims, and so we're a little bit, I'd probably argue, away from that. It's a little bit in the distance, unless we find a massive pot of money, and then I'm sure everyone would love to get into designing and making loads of carbon fiber bits. So yeah, that's sort of it. We're just sort of trying to work out really the processes. So at the moment, we're doing a lot of chassis design on Fusion. So,
Okay.
yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. I'm just interested. I used to do a bit of that years ago, but not so much now. Yeah, it's really interesting. I found it interesting. Yeah, I was also going to ask about safety. You mentioned there's quite stringent safety requirements. What sort of requirements are they, and how are you expected to demonstrate those requirements? So, such example, I don't know, crash resistance. I mean, is it assessed, by calculation, or are you expected to do a destruction test?
So there isn't as much of a destructive test, but there are very much minimum requirements. So the type of like welding joints that we have to do on the primary structure is very critical, along with the steel tubing pipe. It's got to be very specific with diameters, wall
Right.
thickness, and we have to provide where we got the piping from to prove it's from a reliable source and not from a scrapyard that no one knows where it came from.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes to it, and we have to sort of then at the main event pass scrutineering. So they'll look over the car with a fine-tooth comb, and if anything doesn't meet their safety regulations, then the car immediately isn't allowed to race. And before any testing of the car, although it's not a strict requirement, it for especially me and the society, it will be a requirement that we'll get a third party to look at the car over. Formula Student does provide contact details for representatives across the country that are certified to look over the car. So that's sort of the safety factor of the car, along with we have to have FIA regulated safety equipment, from harnesses to race suits and helmets. So safety ultimately, as for the society, is the number one priority for us, because I don't risk anything when it comes to safety. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have we got any more questions? Don't be shy. Maybe we have run out of questions. Okay, well, yeah, if there are no more questions, yeah. Thanks again, Abby and Max. That was really interesting, and I think, as Joe said, yeah, your enthusiasm really shines through. and I really like the fact that it's opened up to the whole of the university, and not just anyone doing an engineering degree, for example. And yeah, you're going to get a lot more. Well, you're going to get a lot of different benefits because you know, bringing lots of diverse people and ideas, and it's not, as you say, it's not just about the engineering. There's the marketing and everything else, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So fantastic, and yeah, hopefully this has been a great session, because I've introduced you to a couple of people have shown interest in hopefully supporting and sponsoring, so that's fantastic. And hopefully we in the IMechE and the the Yorkshire Northern area can continue to support you on your journey. It's great that you're doing this and starting from scratch. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's and you know, York University is probably not sort of seen as somewhere where people go for engineering, but so hopefully this will you know, put it on the map more and gain more interest from people.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everyone for coming along. Yeah, taking the time out, and I hope it was of interest. And thanks again to Abby and Max. And we'll see you all again. Oh, if anybody's wants to get involved with the IMechE, then get in touch with Nikki, or if anybody's got any ideas for events, or if anybody just wants to know more about what Abby and Max are doing with Jorvik Racing and wants to support, then again get in touch with Nikki, the admin officer. So all right, thanks very much everybody, and enjoy your evenings.
Thanks,
Thanks very
Abby.
much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.